link is help
Yeah.
Should we disperse? Should we get started then?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming, everyone. Today we're going to be going through the CDS Lifecycle. Can I get it to move to the next slide? Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. So today we're going to be going through the sales setup process, CDS, case and how our teams works with the health checks that we're now doing, how the schools will be testing using the CDS timetable, and then finally the renewal process. So first of all, a CDS school is born with an ASC agreeing the CDS sale with the school. The SSC will go on to process this, and then finally they'll send out an email. This is in your handout, the first page in the booklet. So that's an example. And basically it's just confirming that the SSC has placed the order, and they also introduce who the account manager will be for the school, so they put in our cases' email addresses there. Following on from there, the email will go through test-wise setups. They'll send all the login details out to the school. So it is quite a long email with all of the details there. So that's the second page you've got. And it tells schools how to log on, what their customer ID is, where they need to go. All of the checks are attached in terms of are the school's computers able to have the test running on them, etc. So it's got all of those attachments onto this email. All of the login details for their pass and their standalone surveys are on this as well. And then after that, the case team will send out an account manager email. So that's the last page in your handouts. So we introduce ourselves to the schools. This is a fairly new template which the case team have all contributed to and put together what we feel is the main key points that schools need to have a read through when they initially sign up. So it's giving them their customer ID, it's telling them in terms of setting up their test, NGRT is probably the easiest one to set up first because all of the children take that test. It's an adaptive test, so they all take the same level of the test. And then they can copy children across into different test registers. We also attach here a support guide and a recommended timings help sheet, and that's the other handout you've got as well. So that's telling them in terms of when they should be doing the tests and what times of the year they should be doing them. And then we have a page here that Eleni has just created a few weeks back. So this has got a lot of the information stored in one place because we were sending out a lot of different emails before, which is quite bombarding for the schools, and it's a lot of information overload for them. So this is kind of one link that she's created that's got all of the information there in terms of who their account manager is, how they contact them, when they need to do the tests, and all of the support videos are here as well, which is really useful because once schools are looking at those, it does cut out a lot of work for the case team in terms of the kind of simple day-to-day questions they have with using the website. Now this is a new structure in terms of the health checks that we're going to be doing as a team, and this has been brought in by Joe. So we're going to be doing health checks, and those are calls at 72 hours. So initially we're calling into the schools within 3 working days of them having their CDS account set up and making sure they've got everything that they need to get going with the tests. So in terms of logging in, all those kind of initial first queries that they have. Sometimes it can be overwhelming for schools, so sometimes you just want to give them a quick call and just, you know, hold their hand a little bit and make sure they're okay with getting set up on the system. They've got all their details, they know where to start. Once they start using it a bit more, it is kind of easier for them to use all the other tests, but it's that initial part, it does scare schools a little bit sometimes with all the information that they get. Then we're going to continue to do those health check calls, so 1 month after they've tested. We would have discussed the assessment plan with them in that first call. So we're kind of trying to get into our minds when they're looking to test next, how we can support them, what's the next time we can give them a call. So if they're testing after that 1 month, or ideally if they do it within that first month, or, you know, if they've got a timing when they're looking to test, then we give them a call back after that, make sure the tests went well, if they had any kind of technical issues, if they were able to run reports on those tests. And also we're going to be discussing the regional assessment workshops with them as well. So if they've signed up to those yet, and if we can get them signed up to more of those. Then we've got the health check call at 6 and 9 months as well. So just to make sure we're always touching base with them at regular intervals throughout the CDS contract period. Just making sure the usage is good. They're making use of all the different kind of key products in the CDS model to make sure they're getting the best out of their money's worth. And then just resolving any queries they might have or anything they ask us about their reports or issues, etc. So this is going to be a new CAS dashboard, which again, Joe is working on and Chris is working on with Julian and the new Spirit that's going to be coming out. So it's going to look this kind of an idea where you're moving along with green, red, yellow along the schools, and it will be based on questions such as if the school have logged in to the assessments, if they've uploaded any students, if they've run any tests and reports, and if they've signed up to their workshops. So it will be a good way for the case team to have an overview of all of the schools that they have, and if there's any reds, we know to make that a priority, because at the moment we have a list of 150, 200 schools on our CRM, and there's no way of knowing at a first glance who's doing well, who's okay, who's not okay. So this will be really helpful for us. And then we've got the CDS assessment timeline. So these are the kind of key points that we know we're going to get a lot of influx of queries from schools, and also when we know that we need to be supporting schools the most at their testing period. So this is an assessment example timeline that we give within our guides as well. And it's got the kind of baselining that schools would do at the beginning of an academic year. So in September, they're going to be doing progress tests and Cat 4. So this is to get at the beginning of the year, what is the attainment for the children, and then also what's their ability. And then going on throughout that, they can do pass a little bit later, so they can see the barriers, any barriers to learning, and it works within the CDS model of seeing their attainment, how are they getting along with the tests, and then seeing are they actually matching up to this by what their ability is. And then finally, if there's anything that's stopping them from reaching their potential, that's where you're using the pass test. So it's at the beginning and the end of the year where it's the busiest testing period for them. So to the end of the renewal process, when it comes to 6 to 8 weeks coming up to the renewal date, the marketing team, they send out a mailer to the customers to let them know that the renewal is coming up and to contact us if they want to start looking at the prices. Then a month before the CDS invoice renewal is due, we will get our leads on Spirit, so we know a month before which schools are going to be renewing in the next month for their CDS. Our case team will put together the renewal prices and contact the schools, ideally always a month before, so they've got enough time if they have any questions about the prices, and that's with the 1 year 4.5% increase or the 3 year 1.53 and 3.5% increase. Then we'll continue the renewal conversation with the schools. If we're not able to get in touch with them, or if we feel like the ASC has a better relationship with the school and might be able to persuade them better, and often happens with Northern Ireland schools, so we'll pass it over to them, or then if we can get the renewal done, then we'll process that for them. So we issue a contract, renew it, and place the order on Spirit. And then once the tests have been set up, we kind of go back to the beginning of the process where, again, we're contacting them with all of the support that they need throughout the year and making sure we're keeping in touch with them with the health check calls. So that's the end and a little throwback. For any questions. Yeah, that's the original key accounts team. As we were. Yeah, that was us three right at the beginning, yeah. Yeah, CDS. Come on, Chris. No more. Thank you. So, right, any questions or anything else? Yeah. Cool. Any questions, anybody? Or Cool. Thank you.
Very clear. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a great document. We also look at that. It's really good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, very good.
I'm serious about it coming round by.
Okay.
Have you still got it?
Yeah,
Yes, we
you
are
can stop now.
stop there.
How long does it come to last actually?
10 minutes.